All right, so in this video, I'm gonna bring you guys along with me to every gig I'm playing over the next 7 days. I'm gonna tell you exactly how much I get paid for each one of them, and I'm gonna break down any expenses I have, like parking and gas. My weeks can honestly vary pretty drastically, but hopefully this will at least give you guys a little bit of an insight. Right now, it's a Friday, and I'm at Seven Springs Resort for a corporate event. These private parties, like weddings and corporate events, make up a large chunk of my income. I was actually here for 2 other days this week, and we were playing outside, but tonight we're playing inside because there's a chance of rain, so I need to go find the stage and get set up. This is a big space. Are we waiting for them to finish running lines and stuff?
Yep, hurry up and wait.
Cool. My kind of gig.
What's up? What's up, YouTube?
That's right. You guys going? Cool. We going to the place we were. That's where we were Wednesday, right? Nice. Thank you.
The second people play the Boogie House.
So how many wings do you get out of a pound?
7. A pound feels like sleazy marketing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You picture a pound. That's, I mean, I can't complain.
Is it about time?
Yeah, I mean, we're a couple minutes until we play. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll follow you back. It's fun too.
Oh, you okay?
Thank you all so much. We'll see you soon.
After party at the Foggy Goggle.
And don't forget, there's an after party down at the Foggy Goggle.
Okay, so for this Friday night gig, I made $425. That's a little more than I made the rest of the week because we had to play a little more music today. And also, the rates change depending on how far you have to drive, at least for this band specifically. So for this gig, I had to drive 126 miles round trip. So you don't normally get to expense the gas that you put in your car. What the IRS does is they issue like a standard mileage rate. So for this year, I think it's 67 cents. So for this gig, I had to drive 126 miles round trip. So 126 miles times 67 cents per mile, that's $84.42. So I'll subtract that for the $425 that I made on this gig. That leaves me with $340.58 in net income because there were no other expenses that I had for this gig. Food was included and parking was free. So I still have to pay tax on that $340. I'm not gonna get too in the weeds with the tax stuff right now. Maybe I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. But yeah, that's my net income for this gig. I got here around 6:30 p.m. and I'm leaving right now. It's about 11:15. I spent around 2.5 hours in the car though, round trip. But anyways, that's it for gig number 1. I'll see you tomorrow for gig number 2. So gig number 2 is at this place called Franklin on Penn. I actually thought this was a wedding gig, but I guess it's also a corporate gig, which is weird because I play like 2 corporate gigs a year or something. Like the large majority of these gigs are weddings for me, but they usually pay about the same. So I've never been to this place, so I gotta find my way inside. Yo, what's up, David?
Where are you going?
I'm going to the Franklin on Penn. Where are you going? Oh, cool. Who are you playing with?
I don't really know.
That's really funny. Well, I hope you have a good gig, man.
Yeah, see you later.
See you later. This is the funny thing about the Pittsburgh music scene is you just like run into people all the time, like especially on a Saturday. All the musicians in town are working, you know? How's it going, man? Wow, you guys are on this again. 2 nights in a row. That's cool. What do you want to sound check with real quick before the other Katie gets here?
Rock with you?
Rock with you. Do you remember what the chart is?
Are you guys playing that? Are you playing a string line? Or you're not doing either?
On what? I'll find out before we play it. Alright, so we have like a little time between sound check and the gig. I found this little stairwell alleyway. I'll get a little practice in. our set break right now. I forgot to get some footage of us eating, but we did eat. So that's not an expense, and I didn't have to pay for parking on this gig. Normally during the weekdays, you have to pay for parking, and I think on Saturdays too, but a lot of times, I'll be honest, I gamble with parking. Like most of the time, I'm showing up at places within the last like hour of when you have to pay. Normally you don't have to pay after like 5 or 6, I think it is. So I play a little game called Parking Ticket Roulette. Something I forgot to mention last night is not everyone on these gigs makes the same amount of money. There are kind of some variables, like if you're running sound, or if you're emceeing, or if you have to get there to set up early, or if you're playing cocktail hour. Like all of those things are factored into your rate whenever you get hired for one of these gigs, at least with the band that I'm playing with tonight and last night. Okay, so it's about 10:15. I'm walking back to my car. I got here around 4:45, I want to say. This gig paid $3.75 and I had to drive 12 miles. I already forget the rate. I think it was like 67 cents a mile or something. I'll put that on screen, however much the deduction is. Tomorrow's gig is completely different than this, so I'll see you guys there. So it's Sunday. Today's gig is at Golden Age Brewing in Homestead, Pennsylvania. If you watched my vlog I posted a couple weeks ago, I played here with Brian Wolf's band, Check Your Bucket, and I think I'm wearing the same thing, ironically. Supposedly they're having like a Hawaiian party or a summer beach party or a luau or something. This is the only summery shirt I own, so by the end of this week you will have seen my entire wardrobe. This gig is with Antonio Cruz's band called the Precipice Community Band.
Ordinarily there's just 3 of us, and we would normally be called the Precipice Community Band, but when there's 9 of us, we're called the Precipice Community Band Community Band.
It's really a unique combination of instrumentalists and music. I'm not even sure how to describe it really.
And the fun thing about this music is that even though it's all written music, all arranged, we actually don't know what's gonna happen. We make it up at the same time. So as much as you all don't know what's gonna happen, we also don't. Usually for better, sometimes for other.
But anyways, we play from 4 to 7, so it's not a super late gig.
That last tune, it comes out to 11 pages long, but the way we play, we don't actually know which parts of the song we're gonna play or for how long. It happens spontaneously. So for this tune, we're gonna start with just reggae groove. There's no changes, it's just like a funky blues sound of reggae. So the next thing we're going to do is a bit more of an experimental thing. I was thinking about, that composer John Cage, and he was famous for making a tune called 433, which a lot of people, even to this day, debate, is it like even a song or music? And it's a song where for 4 minutes and 33 seconds, the whole orchestra just sits quietly. And personally, nobody cancel me on this, all of you John Cage diehards, but personally, I kind of think that 433 is cool and even cute as a thought experiment, but as music, there's not that much content. So I thought, what if you could make a song like that that has compositional content? So this is what we tried to do with this song, Silent Song Number 1. In a normal song, you play a melody, you play another melody, those melodies are interspersed by silence. Here, we reverse it. Our melodies are all silence, and our silences are all melodies.
These people have no idea what they're in for.
So we have time for just one more tune. This is a tune called Squall Line.
So it's a
little after 7 and I'm getting ready to head home. So this gig on a Sunday paid $75. Now, a lot of you are gonna be like, oh, that's so low, why'd you do that, blah, blah, blah. There are some gigs that are more important that they pay higher, and there are some gigs that are less important, and this is my buddy Antonio's passion project that I care a lot about, and I'm into the music, and I love Antonio's playing, and I want to help him out, and I love the band, I love everyone in the group. Now, I had to drive about 16 miles round trip for this, so that's like $10.72. So whatever, I made like $65 was my net income. And I'm sure if you were to break that out over the hourly rate or whatever for like this, and we had a rehearsal like a week or two ago that's not in this video. But like I said, this is one of those gigs that I took because I wanted to play the music and I wanted to play with these people. So I wanted to show you guys that too, because there are a lot of things that the value doesn't necessarily come from the dollar amount, but the value comes from getting to play with specific people and the people that you're meeting. So Monday night is a little different. I'm not playing a gig that's my own or that I'm getting paid for, but I'm actually sitting in on someone else's gig. This vocalist that I met in Nashville a month or two ago is coming through Pittsburgh. His name's Walker Burrows.
What up, guys?
When I saw he was coming to Pittsburgh, I reached out to him and said, hey, I'm coming to the show, excited to see you, and he invited me to sit in.
He was like, oh, I see you're playing in Pittsburgh, I'm totally gonna come. And I was like, will you come play with me?
I don't really know what this is gonna be like, but I love Walker's music. If I'm not working and someone invites me to sit in, I almost always try to do it. It's just great to get to play with people that I don't always get to play with, regardless of if I'm getting any monetary value out of it. Hey, how's it going? I should be on the guest list for the show tonight. Yep, yeah, I'm a friend of Walker's. Hey, dude, what is up?
My dog.
Good to see you, man.
Hey, Pittsburgh.
This is crazy.
Pittsburgh. Do you want to go run through it?
Yeah.
Maybe like right outside.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Got that mic set up for you.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah. I just tap checked it, so I'll try to get it up and you can kind of...
Yeah, I'll play a couple notes when I get up there. Are you doing the form just like the recording? Perfect.
Exactly the same. Well, I stand a pretty penny, bought a red hot air balloon to see if the wind would bring me. After the last chorus, after the second chorus. And now I'm floating away. I got no choice to make. Even at the mercy of wherever the tides go, I'll find you. My love, I'm home to go. And then for one more time to fall. If you want to like toss stuff in at the top, the very beginning and the very end, it's just that kind of like swelly 1 and 4 thing. If you just want to like sprinkle.
Cool. Dude, thank you so much, man.
That was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, just like that.
Yes. Change
Cool.
nothing. Don't change nothing. Dude.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, thanks, man. I'm so
Oh
excited
my
about this.
God.
I almost want to just play the clarinet solo exactly as it is,
so
because
good.
Jack played it so
It's so
perfectly.
good.
I'm like, I feel like I can't do anything better than that, you know? Like, dude, thank you, man. I appreciate that so much. Is that your yo-yo? Oh, dude, I need this on film. Hang on. Did you get that endorsement? What happened?
Yes,
I saw that.
yes.
Dude, this is amazing.
Get ready for the video. It's going to be crazy.
You filmed something for them? This is unbelievable, bro. Oh my gosh. Oh, dude, what the heck? Why are you so good? This is crazy.
I've been practicing a lot.
I'll be honest, I've been pretty stressed over the last couple of days. I'm launching merch tomorrow, and I had like back-to-back gigs, and I was out of town for some of last week, and then I'm going to Nashville next week, and all of this stuff. And earlier today I was feeling pretty burned out and a little like jaded about the music industry and how I have to do all of this stuff to make a living. And then I came to this gig and I got to make beautiful music with a person that wrote a song that resonated with me and that I love so much. And then also just seeing other musicians on stage doing what they love. It was just a good reminder of why I'm doing what I'm doing and how special music is, and that I shouldn't take that for granted. But it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Like, I'm only showing you guys my evenings, and my days are like full of filming and editing and practicing, and like I pretty much just like run full throttle all the time, which I need to get better at so that I don't feel that way about music. But anyway, so the point of this video is not any of that, but it's part of it. You're gonna see a whole week of all of my stuff, so here's one of the days. I haven't left where I parked yet, but I'll put the total for parking on screen now. And I drove a couple of miles to get here, so that's also gonna technically be an expense. But like I said, it's not always the point of everything I do to be making money. This was a very meaningful and memorable musical experience for me that I'm so grateful for, and that you can't put a price tag on. Anyways, tomorrow I actually don't have a gig. I'm just gonna be packing up merch because I'm launching merch, so I'm gonna be filling orders and probably taking stuff to the post office. So I'll pick back up on Wednesday when I have a rehearsal for an interesting project that I haven't talked about yet. Today is Wednesday and I'm getting ready to head to a rehearsal for a saxophone quartet that I am in the process of starting. I made a video a really long time ago about this. I went to Dallas to record and like read through some of these charts with a saxophone quartet down there. I mean, it was just some of my friends that I knew from school. But about a month or two ago, I decided I was gonna dust off the arrangements that I had started and then also hire Clint Lyle, who's gonna be the Barry player, to write out some new arrangements of some video game music. If you've been watching my channel for a while now, you know that I love video game music. I've been in a bunch of video game music bands for a while, and that's how my channel started, was covering video game music. But I also really love playing in a saxophone section, and I played in a saxophone quartet when I was in high school, and it was a blast. But there's not a ton of saxophone quartet or saxophone section opportunities right now in Pittsburgh, so I'm trying to build my own group and hopefully create the opportunity that I want to have. Go ahead, whisper whatever you want to the camera, Joe. I'll never see it. I don't have my footage.
Just like that time I said like an offhanded comment about like, that's jazz.
I guess it's jazz, baby.
This is definitely a craft. No, that belongs in your home. You might want to hang on to that.
See if you can see in the video when that fell out.
If you could just point at me when I have to play it,
Yeah, in the middle.
Yeah.
1, 2, I don't know.
There's no D sharp. Right? Oh, I'm on the soprano part. Here we go. Okay, so the saxophone quartet rehearsal was not paid. I didn't really have any expenses other than mileage, and it was kind of far out of town, so I had to drive like 59 miles. Now, the main purpose of this was to read through a bunch of arrangements and figure out what's good and what doesn't work, and then also to shoot a couple videos that I can then use to pitch to venues to say, hey, could we play here? So while it may seem like a loss at first, I'm hoping it'll get our foot in the door at some local venues, and then I'll be able to film more of that, and we can just keep building our rep and hopefully get bigger opportunities, and it'll, you know, be profitable long term. This this is kind of like a passion project, and I guess now's like a good time for me to mention, like, I'm not the busiest musician in town. This is maybe not even the ideal week to vlog, but I just figured I'll just pick a week. This is the week, and this is what I'm doing this week. Some weeks I'll have way more wedding gigs and more corporate stuff, and other weeks I'll have less wedding gigs and more random stuff, and some weeks I only have 1 or 2 gigs, and some weeks I have a bunch of rehearsals and not a lot of gigs. It fluctuates so drastically, and I'm not the busiest musician in town by any means, and definitely not the busiest horn player either. Tomorrow was originally gonna be just an editing day for me, and I didn't have anything planned, but I ended up getting a call to go film something with a guitar player in town named Mila Shadle. I don't really have all the details, but I'll figure that out tomorrow and update you guys. Alright, I just got done with that little recording session thing with Mila. Basically, there's someone that she works with that like hires her for a lot of like cocktail hour and ceremony work on weddings. And that person had a client that like wanted to hire a guitar and a saxophone player or something, so she was asking for a video of her playing with a saxophone player. We play together a good bit, so I went over to just help record. I had to drive a few miles round trip, so I'll put that on screen now. I feel like stuff like this is good to do, and it was fun, and if Mila gets called for the gig, she said she'll call me, so that's always nice. But tomorrow's gonna be day 7. I have a wedding gig downtown, so I'll bring you guys along for that, and then I'm gonna tally everything up, all the income, all the expenses, and I'll tell you what I made for the week. It's Friday, it's day 7, it's the last gig of the week for this video. Tonight I'm playing at PPG Winter Garden in downtown Pittsburgh. I've never played here before on a Friday, so I couldn't park in my normal spot, which is like free street parking, and I almost parked in a garage, but I found a free spot like a couple blocks away, so no parking expense for this, but let's get to the gig. I forgot to put my tunes in order, so I'm gonna make my set list real quick. We are finding JD Chasen, who went to get drinks.
I led us astray.
Are you gonna save for a house? Are you gonna buy a car? You can't have those things. But you can have tuna tartare right now.
That is not good advice.
Do you know how much tuna tartare and lattes you'd have to buy to own a house? Just get those things instead.
Wow, interesting. It tastes very much like a normal beer to me.
You have not alcohol beer before?
No.
I would. You know,
That's funny.
off the tracks.
All right, with that, we're going to open up this dance floor. So come on, boogie, let's see it.
I went the wrong way because I'm not used to parking in a different spot than I normally do. Anyways, this gig paid $350, which is pretty much like a standard rate for this band in Pittsburgh. I only had to drive a few miles. I don't remember exactly how many. I'll put it on screen. And then I did spend $10 on a drink. If you're wondering why this is $5, it's because meals and entertainment are only a 50% deductible expense according to the IRS. So while I did technically spend $10, I'll only be taxed on $5 of the $10, if that makes sense. Food is pretty much always included on these gigs, and I usually will not buy drinks or any other food, even if people go to a bar beforehand. Normally I'll just hang out. Anyways, like I said, this is just 1 week out of the year for me. Sometimes I make a lot more and sometimes I make a lot less, and there's a slow season where I'm making way less for a whole month. All right, so if you tally up all of the income from the week, or I guess 8 days, sorry, I didn't remember how weeks work. Either way, you get $1,260 in gross income, and then minus all the expenses, which is like $183.17. That leaves me with $1,076.83 for 1 week of playing gigs and then some miscellaneous rehearsals and stuff that didn't pay. Now, keep in mind, this is the pre-tax amount, so I still have to pay tax on all of this. If you saw the clip I posted from the masterclass I gave at Shenandoah University, I talked about how withholding 20% is generally a safe idea. I actually withhold 30% for myself, but this varies from state to state and income bracket to income bracket. Normally, that ends up being more more than enough, and I take that extra money that I saved and I'll either use that for like a gear purchase that I need, stuff that goes back into the business, or I just put it into like a high yield savings account for like my emergency fund. Also, this isn't including any of my content creation income. I kind of think of that as a whole separate thing. This is honestly a very uncomfortable video for me to make, but I think it's really important because it's something that I wish I would have had when I was just trying to think about going to school for music or getting out of school or all of this stuff. It would have been great to have like a blueprint or like someone doing it and see like, okay, what do they make? What are their expenses? What do I have to look for when I go out to do it myself? So that's like the whole point of this video. It's not bragging by any means. It's not trying to make me look like I make more or less than I do. It's just trying to say, here's one random week in the middle of my August, and here's what it looks like for me as a 25-year-old musician that lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But anyways, hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of an insight, those of you that are looking at pursuing music as a career. Generally, it's not a lot of money and you have to work a lot to make a living. But with that being said, I'm very grateful to do what I get to do and to play with the people that I get to play with and to have the experiences that I get to have. Let me know if you guys want to see more content like this. I'm definitely open to talking more about the financial side of what I do. I've always been kind of interested in personal finance, and I think it could definitely be helpful because I wish I would have had a more clear model when I was just getting started. So anyways, I launched merch a week or two ago, so go check that out at FoolishFrankie.com. For those of you that have asked, how else can I support you? That's definitely one of the best ways right now, and I'm super grateful for all the orders I've shipped out, and I've seen pictures of people wearing my shirts and stuff. It's crazy. I'm so grateful. So yeah, check those out, and I'll see you guys in next week's vlog.
Do we need to do anything for the video?
I don't know, we can do whatever you want.
Epic shot, epic shot. We're about to play some music together.